Hey guys, so today I'm going to be going through how to flash a Pinephone operating system using Mobian's new image that's out with an on-device installer with full disk encryption. The full disk encryption part is important if you care about what's on your phone and if other people are able to read it. If somebody gets physical access to your device and it is not using full disk encryption, and say it's only using partial encryption of the home folder and whatnot, they could then possibly recover some of that data that is not encrypted in the home folder. So certain other ways that if your device is not encrypted at all, your device could then, of course, obviously the data would be just readable. Someone could slip your micro SD card out and make a quick copy of it. They could also, plug your phone in or just edit your micro SD card and backdoor things. Full disk encryption is one of the most important parts of your security setup. So the first thing we're going to need to do is prepare our micro SD card for the jump drive. And we're going to need root or use sudo dd, and then we're going to do if equals, then we're going to be overwriting it with random data, so we're going to do /dev/u random. Then we're going to do of, and then equals, slash, and then we're going to do dev/emmc blk0, and this is the device name of my micro SD card. If yours is different, be sure to put it in the way your device name for your micro SD card is. And then what I'm going to add to the end of this is bs equals 8m, and what this is going to do is allow me to write it faster. And once you finish that, go ahead and press enter, and it's going to start writing it with random data. That's going to take a few minutes, so while you're waiting for that to finish, prepping your SD card and overwriting it with random data, I suggest to go ahead and actually download the image to that Pinephone image for the full disk encryption on-device installer. So from there, you would just go to the link. I will leave it in the description for you guys. You can go ahead and download that bottom one right there, Mobian installer, Pinephone for Fosh. Okay, so now that we have finished overwriting our micro SD card with random data, we're going to go ahead and use DD again, and we're going to burn the Pinephone image of the jump drive. So what we're going to do is use DD again. We're going to do DD if equals, and then we're going to do the name of the image. We're going to do the jump drive image name, which is pine64-pinephone.img. Then of equals /dev/emmc blk0, and bs equals 8m. And this is going to flash it to our actual micro SD card, and then we can boot into it, and we will go through all the steps on how to flash the installer onto your Pinephone. And now what we're going to do is we're going to take out our micro SD card, we're going to put it into our Pinephone, and we're going to use the USB-C cord, and we're going to hook it up to our laptop. So go ahead and take out the fresh flashed jump drive micro SD card and turn off your Pinephone, put in that micro SD card, and let's boot up jump drive. Okay, I just placed the micro SD card in the back of my Pinephone, and as soon as I turned it on, I didn't plug in a USB cord yet. I just want to go through each step with you and show you guys how to do it. So I just booted it up, and the first thing that comes up is this jump drive is running. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to place my USB cord, which is now plugged into my computer, and I'm now placing the other end into my jump drive. And what that does is it opens now a new device on the computer, and from here we're going to flash that image right onto our Pinephone using Jump Drive booted from the micro SD card. Now that we have Jump Drive booted up from the micro SD card that we flashed Jump Drive to, so Jump Drive is booted up, our USB is hooked one side into the USB of our laptop, the other side is into our booted Jump Drive Pinephone. Now it's ready to flash. After you've hooked up using USB or Pinephone, you should see extra disks listed here. You see all that is my hard drive, and down here we see both the micro SD card storage in the Pinephone, and we also see the other storage. So what we're going to do is we're going to be using SDB, which is actually our internal storage EMMC. So we're going to use DD. If equals then the image, and here's a little trick. You start typing it, and if you hit the tab key, it'll finish typing that long name out for you. And then of equals, and now we're going to type in the actual place that we want to flash the image to. So for my situation, it's going to be of equals /dev/sdb. And now we're going to add to the end of that bs equals 8m. I found this is the fastest I can flash while also getting other things done at the same time. So once you've triple checked that you type the command right so you don't overwrite anything important, we're going to go ahead and press enter, and make sure you run this command as root or using sudo. So now I've got the right image, I've got the right disk, and I'm also running with root privileges, and I'm ready to flash. So here we go. Okay, looks like everything has finished. The flashing of the Mobian installer with full disk encryption has completed the process for DD flashing on Jumpdrive. So now, if all went well, I should be able to reboot my phone after taking out the Jumpdrive SD card. And it should boot right into that installer. So we're going to take a look at that. Everything went well. If everything went well for you, you should see this after you remove your micro SD card with Jumpdrive on it and boot your Pinephone with no micro SD card inserted. And once I complete this process, I should have full disk encryption to keep my phone safe and to prevent it from being modified if someone has physical access to it. And now I'm going to enter my numerical PIN. One thing I can say is so far this installer is working very smooth without any effort really required to get the keys to recognize. And my key presses are very easy. It picks up very sensitive but not overly sensitive. So now I'm going to be enabling full disk encryption in case my phone gets stolen, as it mentions, or to prevent someone who has physical access from reading or modifying the encrypted data therein. Once it's finished the installation process, you should be left with a keyboard and a place for your encryption key to unlock your drive. So I go ahead and type that in, then hit OK. It looks like it's mounting the file system. Great, so I am fully logged in. The drive has been unlocked, and this is what it'll look like when you first open up Mobian on Pinephone. Of course, I'm going to have to set up my cellular and all the rest, but this is just a really great operating system for the Pinephone, and I haven't seen any videos since this installer just came out last night, so I thought maybe I'd be able to be the first, or at least one of the very first people to do a start to finish how to install Mobian with full disk encryption on your Pinephone. So that's what I've got today, guys. I hope you like the video. Like, share, subscribe, and leave a comment and show your support. I appreciate it. And I'll be back later with more on the Pinephone.